So let's create a simple animation and then use that opportunity to re-explain the animation controls. Start by placing a cylinder in your top view. Click, drag, and then extrude it, and then make another one inside of that, a little bit smaller in radius but a little bit taller in the extrusion so it pokes up through, and then one more time, even smaller radius, and poke it up through again. Finally, take a sphere and place it right about here. Okay, now select the Move, Transform, click on the inside cylinder, right-click on it, transform in the Y direction so it'll only move in the Y axis, and drag it up to meet the ball. Do the same thing with the middle cylinder. Drag it up, and then set this up sort of like an antenna. Okay, once you've done that, click on the Select and Link tool, select the sphere, link it to the top cylinder, select the top cylinder, link it to the middle cylinder, select the middle cylinder and link it to the bottom cylinder. Now, take the Move tool again, move down the middle cylinder, move down the top cylinder, like that. Okay, now let's zoom out a little bit in our perspective view, and use the hand tool to move that down a smidge. Now we're ready to animate. Turn on the animation toggle. You see the red box around your active view. Select your Move tool. Move forward in time to about 30 frames. Now make sure that your transform is set to just the Y direction, and move up the top antenna, and then move up the middle antenna, the middle cylinder. Zoom out just a little bit more. Okay. Now move forward a frame or two, and move this down a smidge, move this down a smidge, move this down a little bit. Now, move forward another 3 or 4 frames. Click on the Inverse Kinematics On-Off toggle, and go to your front view, and move a little bit to the left. Make sure that you turn on your transform XY so you can move in the X and Y. So move a little bit to the left. Move forward in time. Move a little further over to the left. Move forward in time. Move back up to the middle. Move forward in time. Move back over to the other side in the front view. Move forward in time. Go back to the middle in the front view, and then go to the end and move it back just a little bit. Turn off the animation toggle, and let's play this animation to see what it looks like. Click on the view you want to see it in, and press play. So we have a little antenna raising up and then wiggling to one side and then the other side. So let's use this opportunity to talk about our animation controls. Well, we know about the animation on-off toggle because we just used that, and we know about the time slider because we just used that. And we know that we can see keyframes by moving through time and looking for the white box around an object. There's a keyframe right there, there's a keyframe there, and so on. We can go to the end of an animation by clicking on this button. We can go to the beginning of the animation clicking on this button. We can step forward clicking on this button, or by clicking on the buttons to the right and to the left of the time slider. We can move back in time here. We can press play to play our animation, and then press stop to stop our animation. You'll notice that there's a black triangle in the corner of this play button. If I hold it down, I can select this play button here. This button lets me play a selected object. If I press play now, I don't see anything. That's because there are no selected objects. If I select the ball, I can press play and see the animation with just that selected object. Or I can select a bunch of objects, like these top 3 objects. Press play, and then I see only that selection playing. Then we can go back to the regular play tool to see them all play. If I click on the key mode button, I toggle the system into key mode. When this is active, you can choose the next frame or previous frame by clicking on the next key or previous key buttons. So instead of going frame by frame, it goes key to key. So I can go from keyframe to keyframe to keyframe to keyframe. I can go to all the different keyframes this way. When I turn it off, I can step through again. I can also select a specific time by typing it in the time key in space. When I click on the time configuration button, I can configure my animation. I can configure the frame rate with the presets, or I can set a custom frame rate. I can change the time display. You can see that reflected under the animation settings here. I can have real-time playback, playback in the active viewport only, or in all the viewports. I can have the playback speed 1/4, 1/2, 100% speed, twice as fast, 4 times as fast. I can select the start time for the animation and the end time for the animation. I can change the length of the animation. I can change the current time in the animation. And I can rescale time based on these settings. I can use key steps with selected objects only, or use the current transform. If this is off, I can select position, rotation, and scale individually. And then just click OK. So we've created a simple animation, and we've refamiliarized ourselves with the animation controls.